Welcome to the next installment of how to do knee rehab. Being a little bit conservative with the weight and reps lately has my knee feeling a little bit better. This has helped me to build a good base so that I'll be able to push it when the time comes. In this video, I also want to talk about the resilience of the human body, so stick around for that, it'll be a good rant. I started today off with some deadlifts, and I had a couple really good doubles at 250. These felt pretty good even though I've been absolutely pumping the volume on my deads. I've been hitting fives, I've been getting nice and thick and juicy. This has me feeling really good so that when I do transition to realizing my strength, I should be able to hit some good numbers. And I noticed on these deadlifts, not so much on this 240 set, but more on the 230 sets, my grip was going. I've been doing a lot of grip work and I did a bunch yesterday, so I'm just going to chalk it up to that. But I've never really had too much of a problem with grip, and these straps don't really wrap super tight, so they do take a decent amount of grip work to still use. And I also had a really good compliment after the set of 240, so I'll let you listen to that play out. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a compliment as good as this from someone walking into the gym.
You're pretty impressive.
And then after the deadlifts, my knee was feeling pretty good, so I was actually able to go up to 175 on squats, and I did an extra set, so that's a huge win. All of that being in the green zone, not only jumping up volume, but also jumping up weight, that is quite a big workload increase, so that's looking good for the future and looking good for my rehab. Enough about pumping my ego. Now I really want to talk about how resilient the human body is. Your body will adapt in spite of you. That means that if there is an injury or if you start moving in a different way, it's still going to build itself up to withstand that, even if you don't want it to. Think of it like picking a scab. Every time you pick it, it grows back, and eventually the skin underneath is healed. That's because your body wants to adapt and it wants to heal. So thinking that you are broken or that there are certain movements that are bad for you and you can't do is a weak and fragile mindset. It's also just slapping your own body right in the face and totally ignoring what it can do for you. You have to build a strong and resilient mindset and understand that your body can and will adapt. You just need to give it the right tools and the right dose. And not only is that a weak and fragile mindset, but it's also a very hypocritical viewpoint. And it's hypocritical because it means that you think that the body is able to adapt, but only to certain movements. And these movements really only started becoming popular in the last 100 years. So are you dumb or are you crazy? How did humans survive for all this time without just absolutely breaking down or being totally outdone by something else or just exploding on the regular? The body only knows adaptation. It only knows force. So no matter the movement, that force is going to be input to your body, and it's going to say, hey, we need to get stronger to be able to withstand this. All that matters is that you find the appropriate entry point for that movement and for you so that the body can withstand it and then come back stronger. The point of all this is that there are no bad movements. There's only movements that you're not prepared for. But if you're not prepared for a movement yet and you get hurt from it, that doesn't mean the movement is bad. It just means that you need to build up to it. You need to learn from it. You need to look at that movement and think, why did I get hurt from this? What was I lacking? Not what is wrong about that movement. And this adaptable mindset is really the basis of resiliency. It will help you to come up with more solutions and keep you working. So I don't look at my squats and think, oh, going down below parallel is bad for my knee. No, I just think, okay, this weight is not bearable for my knee at the moment. So I need to start at a certain weight that I can handle, at a certain workload that I can handle, and then slowly build it up. That will allow my knee to adapt and become resilient. And along with my knee getting more resilient, it's also going to make my mind more resilient, because I'm proving to myself that my body can come back, that my body can get stronger. Every single time there's an injury or an ache or pain and I overcome it, that is another bit of proof that the body will adapt. And if that rant didn't take up the whole video and I'm doing my rows now, then I just did a couple sets at 120 here with a little bit more control. So I really focused on getting a few good high quality controlled reps. And then once I was no longer able to get some solid range of motion on it, I started to use a little bit more momentum, but I still controlled the eccentric. Anyways, this video was a little bit of a quicker one. I just really wanted to hammer home the point that your body can and will adapt. And you just need to believe it will. You need to find the appropriate entry point and build it up. So I hope that this was inspiring and I hope that you learned something. Now go out there and make some gains.